Illinois' access to and utilization of vaccines has allowed us to remove our capacity restrictions in Phase 5 of the Restore Illinois plan. That's incredible progress that has delivered many of our residents great hope. But it's imperative that we remember that this doesn't mean that the pandemic is over. Around the world and here in Illinois, this virus is very much present, infecting people, hospitalizing some, and tragically killing others every day. Israel, which has led the world in vaccinations, has reinstated its indoor mask mandate and other mitigations in light of fully vaccinated adults getting infected with the Delta variant. Additionally, they've seen a rise in unvaccinated children under 16 getting infected with COVID-19. So let me reiterate, each additional person who gets vaccinated, and here in Illinois, we're still averaging thousands of first doses a day, makes our states, our towns, our neighborhoods, our families that much safer. Get vaccinated. We've surpassed President Biden's goal of 70% of the eligible population receiving at least a first dose. But when you look at our overall population, only about 59% of the population is partially vaccinated. That leaves over 5 million of our neighbors extremely vulnerable with real consequences. Just this month, an outbreak at a Central Illinois summer camp has led to 85 positive cases among attendees alone, and at least one unvaccinated adult has now been hospitalized, exemplifying the danger of unvaccinated people not wearing masks indoors. IDPH is working with the CDC to assist in the expanding outbreak and is in the process of identifying the presence of any specific variants in this outbreak. Already the Delta variant that sent Israel back into mitigation is a growing presence in Illinois. We expect it to dominate our cases statewide by the fall. The lessons here at home and across the world are a harbinger of what could happen here, particularly in low vaccinated areas, if we don't see a higher uptake of the vaccine across Illinois. This is very real. I implore all residents, if you have friends and family on the fence, share with them the life-saving benefits of these free vaccines and encourage them to remain masked until they are fully vaccinated. Share the facts. You can go to idph.illinois.gov and review the vaccination rate of any county in the state to be up to date on the safety of your community and to shift your behavior accordingly. It's the best tool that we have to protect one another. And now I'd be happy to take questions from members of the media. Mary Ann.
Is that why you were wearing your mask? And I see your staff.
It is, just out of an abundance of caution. I wanted to wear a mask today. We have a number of people here, and I thought it was appropriate to do so.
Will you continue to do that for a while? Or?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to, we're all making judgment calls. I think when we leave our home every day, I would encourage everybody, whether you're vaccinated or not, to bring your mask with you. You know what the guidelines are across the state of Illinois, and use your mask accordingly. I would say, from my own perspective, if you're going into a heavily crowded area, you don't know if somebody is not vaccinated. And so you should just bring your mask with you and keep safe.
Could we hear from Mayor Emanuel? It's been a long time.
It's a first. Yeah. Well, I certainly will talk to IDPH. I know that they're in charge of making the designations of data, and so we'll make sure to push them on the question. I don't know where that is in process, but we'll make sure to get back to you about it.
Governor, can I ask you as well? It's been
Yeah.
a while since we've seen you, and wondering about the tornado in Naperville and Woodridge.
Yes.
When are you going to go take a look at it? And your lieutenant, both of you were not able to go last week. So when will you see it?
So as soon as I am able to, but I also want to be clear that, in the early days of the cleanup and taking care of those whose houses, their property were damaged, not to mention the people who were injured, it's sometimes inappropriate to create a distraction by having a high-level official show up just for a visual tour. Having said that, I was given a visual tour of it, although I wasn't there, through pictures, through video, and so on. And as you know, because I know you called us on the day of the tornado, I've been in regular contact with the mayors, the state representatives, the state senators who cover that area, and even talked to one of the business owners in the area. We have provided a resource center for every person that lives in the affected areas. That provides some of them who are unfortunately without a home right now with some resources, including food, including direct access to all of our agencies so they can get shelter and anything else that they need.
Will there be a state disaster declaration?
So we're looking at, the challenge here is we've provided every resource that you would need for whether you had a disaster declaration or not. What we generally look for in a disaster declaration is whether or not we can get reimbursement by the federal government. And unfortunately, over the last number of years, federal government's raised its guidance for how much money you need to have in damages in an area before you can get federal help. That number is almost $20 million. That's the guideline from the federal government. And so we're trying to tally up all of the damage that was done in the area so that we can determine whether we can go to FEMA and get that community the money that it may need.
But you,
Governor, if I could, different topic.
Sure.
What do you think about the Bears in Arlington Heights, and do you think the state would commit funding to such a possibility for state?
That's not something we're looking at right now. I think obviously there are private business decisions that are being made. I've enjoyed many years of seeing the Bears at Soldier Field. And so, the determination about what will happen to that property is a matter of private concern by the sellers. But for me anyway, I have, spent my, adult life going to Soldier Field to watch the Bears and have enjoyed that. And I hope that I'll be able to continue to do that. But again, these are private decisions by private companies. And I think that the mayor will have much more direct input in that than I will.
Governor, can I also ask you?
You vetoed the budget mandatory veto earlier. And
Yeah.
You vetoed another bill. Are there any other bills you're looking at? Maybe doing a mandatory veto like the ethics bill I know you've been critical of?
What do you want to ask about that specifically? There's 660 bills that have been delivered to my desk or will be over the next month or so. And so we're looking at each and every one of them. Even the Illinois Manufacturers Association has recommended vetoing or AVing different bills. I mention it because the leader is here, and there are a number of others. So we're looking at every bill. The changes that'll be made, I'll have to consider as I receive those bills.
What about
Thank
a
you.
return to work bonus? Could you just, it's for someone else that called this one in.
The what?
A return to work bonus.
Yeah.
Some states are offering that.
Yeah.
Are you considering that, and why not?
Yeah, we're looking at all the options here, but remember that one of the big considerations here is making sure that we have enough childcare available. Many women have been put out of work as a result of the pandemic and don't have childcare available to them as a result of the need to mitigate COVID-19 within those childcare facilities. So we've been working to expand that in order to help them get back to work. Listen, people who are not working right now want to go back to work. So we just need to make it easier for them to do so. Thank you.